Do you think, are you going to appeal to the bigger audience?
Oh, yes.
Or is it going to appeal to the audience of Scott FM, where you attracted everybody? Is it going to have the same effect?
I think, hopefully it'll have the same effect, but I mean, it's difficult to know if it'll have the same effect as Scott FM because nobody had ever done it. Since then, we've had one or two Scottie McCLUE attempts at sound-alikes. You know, and to be honest...
But the thing is, Scott, sorry to interrupt you, but the thing is, you go back to the Scott FM days again, we were spoken about it previously, 250,000 calls every half hour or whatever,
250,000 listeners every half hour, 460,000 calls in the week.
I mean, do you think you could get back up to that, say, calibre of calls, or people like myself who have been listening to you, for 30 years?
Yes.
I remember all them. I remember those calls. I remember every single night, Sunday to Thursday, 10 to 1, as I always put up.
Well, the calls were outstanding, because what we did with the calls was either it was a serious call, a genuine call, a funny call, a wind-up call, all sorts of things. And where I used to get annoyed at people saying, I think that was maybe a plant call, they were very, very, very few and far between. So the calls were coming just off the street, so to speak. You see, and the very fact that that was happening was what made the show so much fun.
The thing is, you didn't know what your next call was going to be. 1 minute you get a guy, all right, Scottie, then screaming on the phone, and then you get somebody on telling you their life problems.
Yeah, absolutely. You got that sort of stuff. I can remember being on a programme on BBC Radio 4, and a guy was attacking me. He said, "You don't have a support network, you're not a professional counsellor." And I said, "No, but if we've saved one life, then it's worth doing, and we've saved many." And that just sorted him out. I think he was annoyed with me for saying it. And it's true. Do you not remember a guy came on one night and he said he was thinking in taking his life? We talked to him for a while and I said, "Will you excuse me until after the commercial break?"
I vaguely remember
we had to take the breaks on time, and because the advertisers had paid, otherwise you have no radio station. And he was there for me when we got back. I said to him, don't you dare go anywhere. I'll be back to you in 2 minutes.
But do you think a new, say, talk show, talk-in, would be as successful as Scott FM?
Scott FM was the finest hour on the whole history of Scottish radio.
It was the best, days of, again, growing up, as I said to you previously, I used to lie and listen to you every night. But say, for instance, if you do a new talk on the radio, is it going to be a daytime? It's a different audience.
No, this one will be a night time, probably 10 till midnight. You see, the only thing you're up against, remember, see, when I started on Scott FM, there was no internet to speak of. Virtually nobody had a mobile phone worth talking about. So you were one of the big sources of entertainment. Now, the thing is, you look at the time people spend on their phones. Because there's so much media, you look how their concentration levels have plummeted and they're happy with things 10 seconds long. So would they get through a 3-hour phone-in the way you and I did?
Probably not, because you probably listen to go like, I'll turn this off, because there's no YouTube, or too busy doing TikToks, or too busy doing this and the next thing.
Yes.
You'll probably find that, you will appeal to a certain audience. I mean, I'll certainly listen to you definitely, but as I say,
here's this. Shall I dump this